Before I get started, I just wanted to thank everyone who leaves a comment on my videos. I read all of them, I see all of them. If that's talking about my editing style, something that made them laugh, sharing an experience they had, or a soundtrack that I used, I read all of them. I love it, even if the video gets like 50 views. Just thank you. Alright, enough moppy sad stuff. You came here for Splitgate 2, and I'm gonna tell you, is Splitgate 2 worth playing? No. I downloaded this game looking like Oliver Twist, and boy was I left hungry. This game is an entire mess. Don't let anyone deceive you and manipulate you to tell you that it is not. Splitgate 2 is a mess, and that's truth to be told. My experience with the first Splitgate game was nothing but positive. I really loved the first game. I thought it was extremely fluid, the graphics were fun, every gun felt smooth. There were so many small things that they added about Splitgate 1 that just made it its own community. It felt like a real game that was loved by its developers, that was cared for by its developers. But Splitgate 2 is something that I really can't defend at all. The biggest thing that I noticed with this game, just straight up off the bat, is that Splitgate 2 just straight up feels like an entire different game, and not in a good way. It feels like if you took life advice from that cousin that never went to high school. It just doesn't work out. The biggest thing that I loved about the first Splitgate is that it felt like a byproduct of a team of people who really wanted you to have fun. It really felt like this team wanted to put out what they had and made sure that people enjoyed it. There were tiny things that really mattered, like certain kill streaks would be announced in the game. The initial communication with the player base was really good at the beginning. There were game modes like the speedrunning mode, where you could use portals to traverse the map and try to get the fastest runtime. It was small things like that that really put the community together. Like, they didn't need to add a speedrunning mode to a multiplayer game, but it worked and it was really fun. However, when I load into Splitgate 2, I do not feel that same love at all. Actually, there's not even a training mode in the Splitgate 2 lobby. You can't access training at all. The only way to actually practice in the game is by playing the game, and let me tell you, that experience was oh
no. Oh my god. Guys, is this still recording?
The Splitgate 2 lobby alone feels like it tells the entire story of what's going on. When you log into Splitgate 2, the first thing that happens is that something is trying to be sold to you, whether that be a skin or a battle pass or some sort of premium. It's just really not fun. It's so interesting to me to see how an old game like Splitgate 1 was so smoothly rendered and everything felt so perfect, like people were actually putting heart into the game. But Splitgate 2, there were textures that were being moshed together, things were rendered in incorrectly, and certain parts of the lobby were just straight up glitchy, and it felt like more love went into the item shop of Splitgate 2 than the actual gameplay itself. And I remember from Splitgate 1, there were things that I actually spent money on. There were skins that I actually enjoyed and I bought. But in Splitgate 2, honestly, none of this appeals to me. It all seems like it was all too rushed. Instantly, you open the item shop and boom, you're hit with a founder's pack and skin packs, gun skins, portal skins, all of these different customizable options. It really doesn't feel like you want to buy anything at all. Moving on to another part of the lobby of Splitgate 2, like, I haven't even gotten to the gameplay yet. This is just the lobby, but there's a huge gap that's just missing in Splitgate 2, and that's the fun of it. Like, just straight up, it's the fun of it. Splitgate 1 had all of these different game modes like Split Ball and Teabag Confirmed, Team Shoddy Snipers, genuine game modes that were probably brought on by other players or developers that thought, hey, this would be a really fun and awesome idea to just put in the game. People would love this, and it was really fun. I loved playing Split Ball. I loved playing Team Shoddy Snipers and Teabag Confirmed. And although at the end Splitgate 1 had its issues, these game modes are what made Splitgate stand out so much differently from every other FPS. Everything else was trying to do battle royales and ranked modes and have this whole competitive scene, but Splitgate just felt fun. However, now it kind of seems like it's doing the opposite direction of Fortnite. Fortnite used to be a party game and a fun little battle royale, and it kind of turned competitive at some point and came back to being a party game. Now it seems like Splitgate is trying to take what Fortnite is doing and take their recipe and making a very bad Is It Cake version of it. When you go to play Splitgate 2 and look at the game modes, the first thing you see is Battle Royale, some arena mode, and that's it, because you have to unlock everything else. It's just really not appealing at all. I mean, after all of these games that came out that tried to be battle royales, like I probably can't even list them all. I'm probably just going to show a picture on screen. But there are so many failures, and it shows so much that you can't just copy a game and hope it works. No one asked for a Splitgate Portal Battle Royale. We want what it was. We want that fun party-based portal shooter. And what Splitgate 2 should have been was just a fixing of their past mistakes. Think of it like Overwatch, but not exactly. How Overwatch 2 was basically the same exact thing as Overwatch 1 with some things tweaked. Now the thing with Overwatch 2 is that they tweaked the wrong things and ended up being a not so good game. Splitgate should have done that. They should have took what they had with Splitgate 1 and just made it better. But unfortunately now, moving on to gameplay, Splitgate 2 looks like a poorly optimized mobile game. Now, what you're looking at right now is footage on my computer running at max graphics of Splitgate 2 Battle Royale. Without getting into too much specifics, the problem that I had with Splitgate 2 is that there is no heart and soul with it, specifically for the Battle Royale. It felt like a mix of Apex Legends and Fortnite and every other Battle Royale that is already out. The map was way too confusing.
Where are my teammates?
Only 2 opposing teams remain. We've got this.
What?
The looting was confusing. There's no dynamic in the game. It just felt like what Splitgate already was with a huge map. I mean, I lost my teammates within 5 minutes of landing because I couldn't even see them render in. And on top of that, when I played it, it really did feel like every other player in that game was just a bot. And I'm pretty sure I only really used the portal like 5 times. Now, there are some things that could be working with Splitgate 2 Battle Royale. For example, I'm trying to see how they're doing this kind of class thing, similar to what the finals does, where you pick a class beforehand and then you load into the map with that class. It seemed like each class had their own loadout and abilities and movement tech, similar to the finals. But the way they implemented it into the Splitgate 2 Battle Royale, it just seemed like it really didn't matter what class you picked. The abilities that I had really made no sense. I didn't see myself using them. The gun was just every other gun, and you can pick up other people's guns too. So it doesn't matter which class you pick. And the worst part about it is that you're forced into a squad. Like, I don't think there's a solo mode. At least the menu was too confusing to figure out if there was a solo mode. And when I played it, it was just miserable. Like I said, I lost my teammates. I didn't know what was going on. And the next thing I knew, I was shooting some random rocket launcher I found in the middle of the map where no one else was. And then we won the game. I don't know what happened.
Victorious!
Alright.
After that little situation, I decided, okay, there's no way the core game mode can be as bad as Battle Royale. And it wasn't. It really wasn't. The core game mode, Arena, I think was oh my god. The core game mode, Arena, of Splitgate 2 really just felt like what Splitgate 1 was, with way more lag, way worse graphics, the guns suck, and there's less portals. It just kind of felt like a washed down Call of Duty. What I'm really confused about, even as I'm recording this right now, is which developer or which team of developers at Splitgate 2 saw this compared to Splitgate 1 and said, yeah, this is better. This is way better than what we had. Because I'm sorry, but it's not. And I know I'm kind of joking about this and throwing shade, but it really does hurt to say this because I know how hard developers work on video games and sound design, gun design, all of it. But there's something lost in the translation between Splitgate 1 and Splitgate 2. This is not the same vision that it was all those years ago. Splitgate 2 feels like they're trying to make money and recover from what happened with Splitgate 1. And you don't do that by selling people more skins and more portal skins, gun skins, whatever, battle passes. You do that by making a better game. This video honestly really did hurt to make because of how much Splitgate 2 hurt me. I had, I think, almost 200 hours on the original Splitgate, but this is something I cannot get back into. This is something way different. And ultimately, there are so many problems where I don't even know where to start. I feel like the map design and the gun design, skins, game modes, everything is just so different. It feels like I'm reviewing an entirely different game. And because of that, I don't know where to start. So to restate the question, is Splitgate 2 worth playing at all? The answer is still no.